This is Jim Wyatt, the Tennessean, and the Titans cut their roster down to 53 players on Saturday by releasing 11 players and placing Mark Mariani on injured reserve. And certainly there weren't any what I would call jaw-dropping moves made, but there are certainly a couple of notable moves, and I'm going to focus on those today. Mark Mariani is front and center, the one that I think people will be asking the most questions about, because placing him on injured reserve was not really an option the team talked about or really considered much, to be honest with you, going into this weekend, because he had a shoulder injury that was supposed to be healed up and have him ready to go in a couple of weeks. So it was going to be a matter of whether they were going to, maybe cut him, or whether or not they were going to place him on maybe an IR designation where he could return. And what they ended up doing is they put him on injured reserve, and it ended this 2013 season. He's got in the last year of his contract. He does get a chance to rehab the injury in Nashville. Will get paid his complete salary, which is good for him. And when the off season begins next year, I think he's a guy that the team will try to sign to a one-year contract to give him another chance. Would Mark Mariani have liked a chance to go somewhere else and play, potentially with the Rams and Jeff Fisher? Yeah, probably so. Wouldn't have been any guarantees there, and working out some kind of a injury settlement with him might have been difficult, because he had maybe a couple of weeks to go before he was going to be completely healthy and ready to go. And sometimes those things can get a little dicey, depending on what the team thinks and what the player thinks. So injury settlements are hard to work out, and that's why the Titans ultimately end up deciding to place him on an injured reserve. They're going to go with Darius Raynaud at the position. Another notable, Fernando Velasco was released. The team has elected to stick with Rob Turner as its starting center instead. I think Turner gives them an attitude, and I think they're looking for more of that, of a nastiness, this year, to go with an offensive line that's really been rebuilt. I thought Velasco was a really good player for them last year, and is a guy that's going to get picked up somewhere else. But they ultimately decided not necessarily on Turner over Velasco, but Chris Spencer over Velasco, a guy they competed with each other during the offseason. I think the Titans felt like Spencer was just as good during the competition. He was about $1.4 million cheaper. So Velasco also gone. Another one, Rusty Smith, the third quarterback. I think everybody figured it would be tough for the team to keep a third this year with so many complications and other things to work through, and trying to get down to 53. They just got too much depth and quality depth, to be honest with you, to keep a guy that wasn't going to play any. So they'll try to bring him back on the practice squad. It's just a matter of whether or not Rusty Smith would like to explore his options somewhere else, even if that's taking a practice squad chance somewhere else where he could have a better chance to be the number 2 quarterback. So we'll see how that one plays out. The other veteran who was let go, Tim Shaw, been a good player, a team captain, very well-liked guy. Just think that the Titans, even though they're thin at that position, just felt like it was time to move on there. A couple other good young guys to keep an eye on. Jack Doyle, a tight end, who had a good camp. They'll try to bring him back in the practice squad. Colin Mooney, the same way. Bear with me, I'll look at a couple of other guys. There's Rashad Ross. I mentioned Khalid Wooten, Jonathan Willard. Those are all type guys who could come back on the practice squad as well. So some of these young guys could resurface here in the next 24 hours.